afternoon. We're actually here in the city of Long Beach, and we are lined up right now going inside Super Street. So here we are, and we are slowly going inside.
Here we are. Looks like there's a lot of nice cars now that are lining up a block away from the entrance.
Yeah.
So we got in. We're just going to find a place for them to park us. A lot of nice cars today.
Yeah, actually get a cool Super Street After Dark goodie bag.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
What it has.
Oh damn! Oh, that's nice.
I know.
Super Street sticker. We got another sticker here, and we got the Sylvania LED Ultra sticker. Oh wow, that is so cool. Oh, that's so badass. Here is our position here, and these are all of our awesome neighbors beside us, and these are all the cool cars here in front of us. So check out this awesome Subaru. He was the one parked beside us at Elite Tuner. And then here's another nice Subaru too. They were all parked beside us at Elite Tuner. And here's some cool, nice VIP stands here. Here's a nice, cool Nissan. I think 240. Wow, here's a clean Ferrari. Wow, check this out. Nice rally style out Evo. Awesome Supra. We saw them too at Elite Tuner. Check out this S2K with the Lambo door. Cool Mazda. Right in here. Oh, nice. Oh no, still programming it. All right, cool. Here's our friends BMW here. We see them a lot too in the car shows. Here's another clean Nissan. Oh, here's a nice clean RX-7 right-hand drive. Here's a clean RSX. Here's a nice Lexus. Here's a cool Supra. Here's our friend's car right here. Look at this clean CRV right here. Oh wow, look at this Mazda. This is cool how he converted it. Nice CRX right here. Nice clean engine bay. Check out this nice Civic hatch with the carbon hood. It's a nice clean Type R yellow Subaru. Oh, here's a nice clean Evo right here. Was it Evo 4? Here's a nice clean R32. Here's a nice clean Trueno right-hand drive. Here's a nice Evo, clean Nissan. Oh wow, this is it's a Toyota. Here, let's check his specs. It is a Starlet. Oh, nice. Here's a nice clean Civic hatch right here. Right-hand drive. A nice clean Type R. Oh, with the hood pins too. Nice clean NSX. And we're here at the Artcraft booth. And we're here at the D. Burke Premium Car Care. Here's Titan 7. And then here's their booth car here, the NSX. Dreams to reality. Another booth here. And here is I Am. And then here is Tommy's car right here. Some more clean cars here. Here's R1 Concept booth. Here's all the cool cars from R1 Concepts. Liqui Moly, we just saw them last week. And here's their booth cars here. Look at this clean Liberty Walk LC 500. And then here's a nice clean Liberty Walk with the Liqui Moly wrap. Nice R35 with the underglow lights. Here's a nice clean Silvia. Here's a nice clean NSX. And here's a nice clean hatch. The Super Street merchandise booth. Here's Doghouse Garage. Oh, here's Mugen. Wow, check out this nice 911 right here, guys. It's a booth for turbos called Premier Turbo. Nice. Here's their booth cars here. Oh, wow, check out this engine right here. Oh, shoot. It's a rotary with that turbo right there. This is crazy. Here's Lean Customs. Here's the entrance right here. More cars are still coming in. Here's more vendor cars. Mega Life battery. We have Honda Racing here. And then here's some more booth here, guys. These awesome Civic Type R. Here's a nice clean Subaru STI. Look at this nice wide body right here. Silvia, right-hand drive. Here's a nice clean, this is Liberty Walk, R35. There's a nice clean Integra, RX-7. Here's a Civic right here. There's a nice clean Supra. We got some cool K trucks here. Tegra right here. Here's a nice clean Eclipse. Is this from Fast and the Furious? I think it's from Fast and the Furious. Look at this nice clean wrap Supra. Check out this nice clean Nissan here. I think this is a race car, drift car right here. Here's another clean Integra. Here's a nice R32. Oh wow, I haven't seen this car for a while. Here's a nice Honda Del Sol. Integra right there. There's a nice Civic hatch. Here's a right-hand drive Trueno. Here's a clean Integra here. And here's a nice VIP Lexus. Here's a clean Civic. Nice clean Integra. Here's Wrench Mob Motorsports. Here's Shop Diecast Talk. Land Cruiser. Oh man, look at this F1 right here, guys. This is crazy. Corolla hatch. Here's a nice clean Evo. Here's a nice clean Civic. Oh, here's a nice new Integra. And then over to my right is a nice clean Silvia from Pandem. It's a nice wide body Trueno right here, AE86. Look at that. And then here's a nice clean Evo right here. We see them a lot too in the car shows. And this is the Illis booth right here. And then over here is a nice clean Lotus. Here's a nice clean R32. Nice clean Mitsubishi Eclipse. Look at that nice turbo right there. It's a nice clean Lexus. Here's another nice clean Lexus. Wow, look at the engine bay on this. Look at that engine swap on this wagon. Here's a nice clean Subaru. Here's a nice brand new Porsche 911 Turbo. Here's a nice clean wide body Mustang. Here's a nice clean BMW Classic. Wow, look at the engine bay on this. Here's a nice clean Subaru. Here's a nice GR. Here's another nice clean GR. It's a nice clean Type R. Look at the engine bay with the Aventuri. Here's a nice clean Aston Martin. Oh wow, seen a see-through engine bay right here. It's clean. Here's a nice clean Civic. Here's a nice clean Cayman. Oh, look at that. That is cool. Here's another clean Cayman right here. Or, oh, GT4 RS. Nice clean Honda. Oh, here's a nice RSX. Here's a nice clean Integra. Oh, here's a nice clean Del Sol. Here's our, oh, whoa. This is our Fred's awesome Tesla. We see him a lot. He gives free candies. He got an awning kit. And he's removing something right now. Here's a nice clean Nissan right here with all carbon. Here's a nice clean Scion. And we're now back here in our Bronco. Used our D-switch, turned it on, and we turned on all, or not all our lights, well, most of our lights on. We got the rock lights on, the interior lights, the side lights, and the trunk lights. And also our engine bay lights too as well. Nice clean GT500. Here's a nice clean BMW M3. Look at this, all carbon fiber out. Nice wheels. Even has the roll cage too. Here's another clean BMW with the CSF radiator. The storage space on the top. Here's a nice clean Supra, all carbon fibered out. Here's a nice clean Miata. And here's a nice clean Integra. Nice clean classic Honda Accord. Here's a nice clean Integra, all carboned out. Here's a nice clean classic Civic hatch. Here's another clean classic Civic hatch with the carbon hood. Here's a nice clean classic Integra. Wide body Silvia. Nice with the coil rad radiator. Another nice wide body Silvia. Wide body Acura. Nice engine bay right there. Here's a nice clean Civic. Nice clean GR. Here's a nice clean Nissan. Got this nice clean Honda Prelude. It's another clean Prelude right here. It's another Prelude. Here's a nice clean Prelude here. Look at the engine bay on this. Nice. Here's another clean Prelude. Here's a nice clean Nissan R34, all Nismo'd out. That's nice. Here's a nice clean NSX with the Desmond wheels. Convertible C8. Audi RS6 wagon. Here's a nice Integra. Nice classic Mazda. I think we saw this at the JCC. Nice clean rotary. Oh, here's another clean Mazda right here. Oh, that's nice. The nice clean RX-7 with some carbon fiber. Look at that, the headlights. Check out this nice clean Civics here. Here's a nice clean Civic hatch. Oh, that's a nice engine. Civic coupe. The engine, that's nice. Here's a nice clean BMW. Here's a nice NSX right here. And then here's another Civic. Here's a nice Porsche. Oh, here's a nice lowered Nissan right here. Here's a nice Lexus. Oh, here's a 4-door R32. Here's a nice clean Civic with Recaro seats. Here's a nice clean hatch. Another clean hatch. Nice engine bay. Here's a nice Civic SI. Oh, hi there. Hi. Here's a nice clean Mustang. Here's a nice clean Infiniti. Here's a nice Acura. A Mercedes. Oh, wow. Engine swap too. Civic Type R. Here's a nice Type R here. Civic 4-door. Here's a nice Z. Here's a nice clean NSX. Here's a nice Subaru. Oh, nice BBS wheels. Nice Type R. Here's a nice Ford RS. Here's a nice Corvette. It's a nice Integra. Wow, nice engine right there. Here's a nice Nissan S14. Oh shoot, look at the engine bay on this. Here's a nice Evo. Wow, look at this nice classic Evo right here. Right-hand drive with the Lambo doors. Nice Toyota Scion. This is a nice classic Mustang right here. Wow, fully restored. Type R, all carbon fibered out. This is a nice Acura right here. This nice wide body right here. This nice S2K. Here's a nice Type R. Here's a nice Lexus. Here's a nice Challenger. Here's a nice Subaru. Oh, here's a clean Miata. It's a nice wrap for the Evo. Oh, here's a nice classic Oldsmobile. Nice engine bay. And nice Integra. Wow, check out the engine on that. That's crazy. It's a nice clean Type R. Here's a nice RS5. Oh, wow, look at the see-through engine bay right there. Here's a nice Type R. Nissan right here. All carbon fibered out. All Nismo too. Nice. Here's another clean Corvette. Here's our friend's Tesla right here. Nice wide body with the BBS wheels. Here's a nice clean R32. We're now heading inside the warehouse. Check out this nice clean R34 with the carbon fiber hood. Volk racing wheels. Here's a nice clean R33. Here's a nice clean RCF. Wow, some nice carbon fiber trimming. Here's a nice clean LC500 with BBS wheels. Nice clean S2K. Look at that, all carbon fibered out. This is clean. Here inside the warehouse, and check out all the awesome cars here. It's our friends Alan's AE86. I just did a review on this at Weekfest. Here's a nice clean Trueno. Here's another one. Nice red one. Here's our friends Ariel's AE86. Here's a nice orange Trueno right here. Look at the engine bay on this. That's clean. Here's a nice NSX. Here's a nice Silvia. Here's a nice clean Type R. Here's a nice Civic hatch. Wow, look at the engine bay. Look at the carbon fiber intake. Oh, here's a nice clean Integra. It's a nice clean classic Porsche right here. Here's a nice clean Supra. Nice engine bay. Here's a nice clean Evo. There's a nice clean Civic hatch. And here is the all-new Prelude here. And here are all the generations for the Prelude. Clean Civic Type R. Here's a nice clean NSX. Here's Germ's S2K right here. Here's a nice clean Integra. Here's a nice clean Civic. Wow, look at the engine bay on this. That's nice. Here's a nice Scion right here, wide bodied out. It's a nice Civic hatch. Wow, look at the engine bay on this. It's a nice clean NSX. And here's a nice clean Civic hatch, right-hand drive. And there is the Honda Prelude in action right there. That is so cool. It's so quiet too. Sal's Subaru right here. Here's Bisimoto's crazy Porsche right there. I think it's a hybrid. Here's a nice clean Civic Coupe. Here's a nice clean Honda Prelude, guys. Oh my gosh, look at the engine on this. This is crazy. Here's a nice S14. Here's our friend's Miata right here. Here's a nice clean Civic hatch. Here's a nice clean Type S, and here's a nice clean Integra. It's a nice Z right here. Look at this nice R34 Nismo out. Look at the midnight purple. Here's a nice HKS R34. A nice Starlet. We see them a lot too in the car shows. Here's a nice clean Porsche. Here's a nice clean NSX. Here's our friend's Type R right here. Nice engine bay right here. All titanium out. Here's a nice clean Corolla hatch. Here's a nice clean Integra. And here's another clean Integra. Here's a nice clean Evo right here. Here's a nice clean S2K. Here's our friend's S2K right here. This is clean. Look at this. Look at that crazy white body. Nice. Here's a nice clean M3 with the Volk racing wheels. Oh shoot, look at this RX-7 right here. This is nice. Got this nice awesome Z here. Wow, look at nice engine bay. This nice Skyline wagon right here. Nice. Look at the engine bay on this. All HKS out. Here's a nice clean S2K right here. Damn, look at the wide body on this. Look at the engine bay. Nice. Here's a nice clean Prelude right here. Oh shoot. Look at the engine bay on this. Even has his own magazine right there too. And then here's a nice clean Civic hatch. DJ's already starting, and over here, look at this. They got a cool simulator spot here. This is nice. It even moves too. That's cool. They got some cool Super Street lighting in the background. And there's us right there. I know it's really dark right now, but here is all the cars parked over here, and we're now here in the food place. So they got some cool cars here. There's a nice R33 over there. We got some Hawaiian style Asahi bowl. We got a nice NSX. We got some tacos here, and we got some Gam Gam burger. Wow, look at his portrait. That is so nice right there. They got the, I think, Long Beach Police helicopter checking the event out.
Right.
We're all done setting up, and we're just getting ready to leave. It was a great event. Lots of amazing cars.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
You can ride looking like a super fly disco. You can ride looking like a super fly disco.
And here's that awesome Lambo K trucks coming in. That's so nice.